You walk into a dealership on a Saturday afternoon just to look around. That's what everybody says, just looking. The glass doors slide open, cold air hits your face, polished paint reflects the lights like jewelry, and somewhere in the background, a salesman is already calculating how much of your future income he can legally extract from you before you even shake his hand. Then it happens. That smell. The smell Americans have been trained to worship since childhood. Fresh leather, heated plastic, brand new carpet glue. The scent of a machine nobody else has touched yet. We call it the new car smell. But hidden underneath that smell is something far more dangerous. It's the smell of disappearing freedom. Because in America, there is one financial decision destroying more middle-class wealth than overpriced coffee, more than impulse shopping, more than eating out, more than Netflix subscriptions, more than credit card rewards scams, and most people proudly drive it to work every single morning. Somewhere tonight, a 27-year-old professional is signing an 84-month loan for a truck they secretly cannot afford. Somewhere else, a couple already stressed about rent is convincing themselves that a luxury SUV is necessary for safety. And millions of Americans are unknowingly trapping themselves in a cycle where every raise disappears before it even hits their bank account. Not because of taxes, not because of inflation, because of the car sitting in their driveway. The terrifying part is that nobody warns you about this. Society actually celebrates it. The moment you pull into your neighborhood with a shiny new vehicle, people clap for you. Friends congratulate you. Instagram rewards you. Coworkers nod with approval. Nobody asks the question that actually matters. How much future wealth did that car just erase? Because the truth is brutal. Most people are not driving transportation. They are driving a monthly payment designed to quietly consume decades of their financial life. And the auto industry knows exactly what it's doing. They don't sell vehicles anymore. They sell identity. They sell validation. They sell the illusion that success must be visible. That if your car doesn't look expensive, maybe your life isn't successful enough either. So people stretch, they finance longer, they normalize $700 payments, then $900 payments, then $1,200 payments. And suddenly, entire careers are spent working just to maintain a lifestyle nobody is even impressed by. Here's the craziest part. Most Americans obsess over tiny expenses while completely ignoring the financial nuclear bomb parked in their garage. People panic over spending $8 on coffee, then casually sign paperwork committing themselves to nearly $1,000 every month for 7 years on an object guaranteed to lose value. Imagine buying a stock for $50,000 and watching it instantly fall to $40,000 the moment you purchased it. Most people would lose their minds. But that exact thing happens the second a new car leaves the dealership lot, and we celebrate it with photos and TikToks. The car industry turned depreciation into a status symbol. The moment you drive away, thousands of dollars evaporate, not eventually, instantly. That brand new SUV, it just lost more money in the first hour than most people save in months. But dealerships are masters of distraction. They never want you focused on the actual cost. They want you hypnotized by one number only, the monthly payment. What monthly payment are you comfortable with? That sentence sounds harmless, but it's one of the most profitable questions in modern America. Because once your brain starts thinking monthly instead of total cost, reality disappears. Suddenly, an unaffordable vehicle feels manageable. Stretch the loan long enough, and almost anything can look within budget. That's how $70,000 trucks end up in driveways belonging to people living paycheck to paycheck. The dealership doesn't care if you're financially trapped for the next decade. In fact, that's the business model. The longer the loan, the more interest flows to lenders, manufacturers, and finance companies, while your future quietly bleeds out one automatic withdrawal at a time. And what's terrifying is how normal this has become. Americans now treat permanent car payments like a law of nature, like adulthood automatically means always owing money on a vehicle. People literally structure their entire lives around transportation debt. They choose jobs based on the payment, delay vacations because of the payment, stay trapped in stressful careers because of the payment. Some even postpone having children because of the payment. Yet nobody calls it what it really is, a massive wealth transfer from the middle class to corporations. Every month, millions of workers wake up early, sit in traffic, and spend hours at jobs they dislike largely to finance rapidly depreciating machines parked outside. And the saddest part is that many of those cars aren't even making people happier anymore. The excitement fades shockingly fast. That magical new car feeling? Research shows humans adapt to luxury incredibly quickly. Within months, the expensive vehicle that once felt life-changing becomes emotionally normal. But the payment stays, the insurance stays, the maintenance stays, the stress stays, the financial damage stays. This is why so many high earners still feel broke despite making good money. They upgraded their lifestyle faster than they built actual wealth. And cars are often the biggest culprit. The average American sees a luxury vehicle and assumes the driver is rich, but in many cases, the opposite is true. Real wealth is usually invisible. Real wealth looks boring, quiet, understated. The truly financially free person often drives the older Toyota, not because they can't afford better, but because they understand the math everyone else ignores. See, wealthy people think differently about assets and liabilities. Most consumers see cars emotionally. Wealthy people see them mathematically. And mathematically, cars are among the most destructive purchases people routinely make. A car is not an investment. It does not generate cash flow. It does not compound. It does not appreciate. It consumes money constantly. Insurance, fuel, registration, tires, repairs, interest, taxes, depreciation. It's not just the sticker price. The sticker price is merely the entrance fee into an ongoing financial relationship that quietly drains your income year after year. And modern vehicles are becoming even more expensive to maintain because they're basically rolling computers now. A tiny sensor breaks, and suddenly you're staring at a repair bill large enough to ruin your month. What used to be simple mechanical fixes are now software problems requiring specialized labor, calibration systems, and dealership pricing power. Then there's insurance. Newer, more expensive vehicles cost dramatically more to insure. Luxury brands cost even more. One accident, one stolen catalytic converter, one hailstorm, one distracted driver in a parking lot. Suddenly, your dream car becomes a financial nightmare. Yet, despite all this, Americans keep upgrading. Why? Because deep down, the purchase was never about transportation. It was emotional. It was psychological. Cars became identity. They became proof. Proof that you're succeeding. Proof that your hard work is paying off. Proof that you belong. Especially in American culture, where the automobile has been tied to freedom, masculinity, status, and personal value for generations. The problem is that status purchased through debt is incredibly fragile. A luxury vehicle can create the illusion of wealth while silently preventing actual wealth from ever forming. And this is where opportunity cost enters the conversation. The financial concept almost nobody thinks about when buying cars. Opportunity cost is invisible, which makes it dangerous. It's not just the money you spend, it's the future money that spending prevents from existing. Imagine a 25-year-old investing $800 every month instead of sending it to a car lender. Not once, not temporarily, consistently for decades. With compound growth, that decision alone can become millions of dollars by retirement age. Millions. That means every oversized payment today has a hidden future cost attached to it. The expensive truck isn't just expensive once. It can potentially cost future freedom, future investments, future vacations, future options, future peace of mind. People think they're buying a vehicle, but often they're trading away flexibility they haven't needed yet. And flexibility is one of the most powerful forms of wealth. The ability to leave a toxic job, the ability to survive layoffs without panic, the ability to move cities, start businesses, take risks, spend time with family, or retire earlier. Massive car payments quietly destroy those options. Then comes one of the darkest financial traps in the auto industry: negative equity. This is where people owe more on the vehicle than the vehicle is worth. And it happens constantly because depreciation moves faster than loan payoff schedules, especially with long-term financing. Someone buys a car, trades it in early, realizes they still owe thousands more than it's worth, then rolls that leftover debt into the next loan. Then they repeat the process again and again. Suddenly, they're paying for 3 generations of bad decisions simultaneously. There are people driving ordinary sedans with monthly payments rivaling mortgages because old debt keeps getting stacked onto new debt. The car becomes a financial ghost chain following them from vehicle to vehicle for years. And all of this is normalized by a culture obsessed with appearing successful instead of becoming successful. Social media made it worse. People now perform wealth online constantly. They showcase luxury interiors, steering wheel logos, ambient lighting, giant touchscreens, custom wheels, expensive wraps, leased lifestyles. But what you rarely see are the anxiety attacks, the overdraft fees, the arguments about money, the fear of layoffs, the sleepless nights wondering how to keep up appearances. Debt is easy to glamorize when the bill arrives privately. This is why some of the wealthiest-looking people are financially drowning. Meanwhile, some of the most financially secure people look completely average from the outside, because actual wealth and visible consumption are often opposites. Truly wealthy individuals frequently prioritize ownership, investments, cash flow, and long-term stability over temporary social validation. They understand a powerful truth: looking rich and being rich are not the same thing. One is performance, the other is freedom, and freedom doesn't always photograph well. The irony is that most people don't even care about your car as much as you think they do. Human beings are mostly focused on themselves. When somebody sees an expensive vehicle, they usually imagine themselves driving it. They aren't deeply admiring the owner. Yet, people sacrifice enormous portions of their future trying to impress strangers who barely notice them. That's one of the most expensive psychological mistakes in modern consumer culture. Then there's leasing, often marketed as the smart way to drive. Low payments, new car every few years, warranty coverage, minimal hassle. Sounds sophisticated, but leasing often keeps consumers trapped in permanent payments forever. You continuously finance the most expensive years of a vehicle's life, the steepest depreciation period, then hand the asset back before ownership becomes financially efficient. It's like renting luxury endlessly while never building equity. The car industry loves this because predictable recurring payments create incredibly profitable customers. And now, manufacturers are evolving the business model even further. Subscription features. Monthly charges for technology already installed inside the car. Heated seats behind paywalls. Performance boosts requiring subscriptions. Connected services collecting driving data. Vehicles becoming software ecosystems. Consumers are slowly transitioning from owners into recurring revenue streams. Some companies even share driving behavior data that can influence insurance pricing. The modern connected car isn't just transportation anymore. It's surveillance, monetization, and subscription economics on wheels, which makes older, simpler vehicles strangely attractive again. Not just financially, but psychologically. There's peace in driving something fully owned, something uncomplicated, something not constantly extracting money or tracking behavior. And this doesn't mean everybody should drive ancient, unreliable cars forever. That extreme misses the point. Reliable transportation matters, safety matters, comfort matters. But there's a massive difference between smart transportation and lifestyle inflation disguised as necessity. The sweet spot financially is often a reliable used vehicle several years old. Let somebody else absorb the massive depreciation hit. Buy proven reliability instead of emotional excitement. Then keep the vehicle long after the payments would have ended. That's where real financial breathing room appears. Because eventually, a paid-off car becomes powerful. No monthly payment. Lower insurance. Reduced stress. Extra cash flow available for investing. Emergency savings. Travel. Family goals. Or simply peace of mind. Most people never experience this because they upgrade too quickly. They restart the debt cycle before reaching the financially rewarding years of ownership. They stay trapped in perpetual payments their entire adult life, and the consequences compound quietly over decades. Imagine two people earning the same income. One constantly upgrades vehicles. The other buys reliable used cars and invests the difference consistently. 10 years later, their lifestyles may still appear similar externally. 20 years later, the gap becomes enormous. 30 years later, one may have genuine financial independence, while the other still depends entirely on paychecks to maintain appearances. Small monthly decisions become massive long-term outcomes. That's the terrifying power of compounding, both positive and negative. And perhaps the hardest part of all this is the ego. Because rejecting lifestyle inflation often feels socially uncomfortable. Driving an older vehicle in a culture obsessed with upgrading can feel embarrassing at first, especially when co-workers, neighbors, and friends are all participating in the financial arms race. But eventually, something shifts. You realize peace is more valuable than validation. You realize sleeping calmly at night matters more than impressing strangers in traffic. You realize freedom feels better than status signaling. And suddenly, the older paid-off car stops feeling embarrassing and starts feeling powerful. Because every month without a payment is a reminder that your income belongs to you instead of lenders. Every extra dollar invested is future freedom growing silently in the background. Every year you resist unnecessary upgrades, your financial foundation strengthens while others continue financing appearances. The truth is that cars should serve your life, not consume it. They are tools, transportation devices, useful machines. But modern marketing transformed them into emotional identity packages designed to trigger insecurity, ambition, and social comparison. The most dangerous purchases are rarely made logically. They're made emotionally, then justified mathematically afterward. And that's exactly how millions of Americans end up financially trapped while believing they're upgrading their lives. So, the next time you smell that new car scent, pause for a second. Ask yourself what you're really buying. Is it transportation or temporary validation? Is it convenience or social approval? Is it genuine need or emotional pressure disguised as success? Because somewhere hidden inside that monthly payment is a future version of your life, a future investment account, a future business opportunity, a future emergency fund, a future vacation with people you love, a future home paid off earlier, a future retirement with less stress. Every dollar has a future attached to it, and the wealthiest people understand that true luxury isn't the car you drive. It's the freedom to control your time, your choices, and your peace of mind without constantly owing somebody else money. That kind of freedom doesn't have a smell. It doesn't turn heads in traffic. It doesn't get likes on social media. But unlike a brand new vehicle, it actually gets more valuable with time.